right. Welcome back to Baseball and Coffee. I know it's been a couple of days. Life got in the way a little bit this weekend. So we weren't able to do Saturday. Knicks, champions of the world, champions of the universe. So very excited for that. Obviously, of course, I'm a little bummed. I don't know about this hat right now. I'm a little bummed that I can't go to the parade on Thursday. Got to go to Alabama, but we'll make the most of it either way. Got a lot of fun things on the horizon. Not to be not to be outdone here. We're gonna have a nice show today, and then tomorrow we'll have the Miz will join us, and it's gonna be more of an afternoon show. So if you don't catch it, don't worry. It'll be up on everything afterwards. If you do catch it, that's great. Get in the chat. We'll see how much time we have for questions coming in from you guys and all that. But I'm really happy to be back doing the show. I missed doing it the last few days, so I'm glad to hop back on the horse today. And I hope everybody is having a nice week so far. So, let's say hi to a few people. Morning, Spectre. Thanks for the congrats on the Knicks win. We're feeling great about that. Doesn't even feel real that they could do it in sort of easy fashion. I know they came back in every game, but it's kind of nuts. I just got to take all my daily supplements and get myself right. All right, let's get it going. Who else we got here? Good morning, everybody in the grounds crew that's hanging out today. I like that. Diamond Devotees. Beautiful day in Colorado. Always a beautiful day in Colorado, right? Anyways, let's hit it today. Let's pull out the old pencil here and let's get up to speed on everything that's happening in and around baseball. And then we'll go from there. We'll watch some stuff. And we'll see where we want the show to take us today. On a beautiful Tuesday, June 16th. Halfway through June, guys, so we're almost to the halfway point. We're getting there. All right. In the American League East, Yankees have a 1.5 game lead on the Rays, who are a game and a half. I just said that. They're a game and a half back. Yankees have played pretty well. They had a good road trip, but they're playing the White Sox now. I'm very curious about this series in the Bronx. As for the Blue Jays, who lost that series to the Yankees in kind of disappointing fashion, I don't know. Watching them up close this past weekend, they're good, but without Vlad in there, you do see that they lack a little bit of that punch. And even with Vlad in there this year, there hasn't been a lot of that power, and that might be hurting them. It might have cost them 5 games right now. Just that one aspect alone, like just a little bit of lack of power going on there. All right, AL Central, White Sox and Guardians are tied at the top. Detroit has played a little better the last week. I'm skeptical that they can get back in it. I still think they're going to be a seller. I mean, they're 12 under 500, but they have played a little better the last week, so I thought we should mention that. Mariners, half a game up on the A's. Rangers, game and a half back. Houston's lurking. And Angels are kind of out of it, I would say. Mariners have not separated themselves. They're only a game over 500, so they're still a little vulnerable there, I'd say. All right, NL East. Speaking of vulnerable, the Phillies are now 7.5 back of the Braves. The Braves are good, but I'm still skeptical about their starting pitching. So that's a situation to be monitored. Strider's out again. Schwellenbach, no timetable. Elder got creamed in his last start. So I don't know. We'll see about the Braves starting pitching. Other than that, I don't have many doubts about their team. Washington won't go away. They're lurking on the edge of this. I'd be curious if they can hang in there on the wild card hunt. They've scored so many runs. Their offense is so fantastic this year so far, especially Wood and Abrams, that they're hanging in there despite the bullpen. All right. Central, Brewers, 4.5 up on the Cardinals, who are playing very well as well. I don't know what to make of this division yet. Cubs had a weird win yesterday, but I don't know who to believe in at the bottom here. Pirates or Reds, can they kind of get it going? I'm just not sure. Sometimes you watch the Reds and they seem like a good team, but I don't think they are. All right, Dodgers, 8 up on the Padres and 8.5 up on the Diamondbacks. They're going to run away with this one. And there's really nothing much else to say. It's just like who can save face and how much can the Giants sell off towards the end. And then I think we'll have an interesting, at least National League wild card race for sure. So let's get in and check the coffee cups as well. Oh, hey, what's up, Maya? I'm going to the parade even though it's totally going to rain. If I would go no matter what. I'm really bummed. This is one of my... I'm going to have really big FOMO. I'm going to try not to look at the internet on Thursday, and then I'll watch all the videos that come out on Friday, I guess. But I was planning on bringing out my camera and mobbing with some of my high school friends and just having a good time, but it's not going to happen. So I hope you enjoy it. You know, it's going to be unreal. Reds have a good skipper. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still in disbelief about the whole Knicks thing. All right, here's a coffee cup winner. So Colt Keith hit 3 of his 4 home runs on the season last night. So he wins the coffee cup with a 3 home run game for Detroit. Gino, Eugenio Suarez. So this is just so Mets, you know. He's had a pretty horrible season. I'm even listening to Keith Rad, and I don't know who's in the booth with him right now on the radio side. I was listening to them while I was driving in the car up to Bristol last night. Or somewhere. I was driving somewhere, and you know, he's commenting on how Eugenio Suarez has been awful, and then he immediately goes double home run game, home run in the early, 2-run homer early, grand slam later. So he's on there. Nick Kurtz, another 2 home run day. We'll definitely watch him. The Squirrel hopped in there with a 3-hit home run day. He had the cheapest home run I think I've ever seen last night, so we'll watch that. Cole Carrick is a guy that's starting to get my attention. PCA is number 7, and the reason why PCA is so low is because my hitting system is weighed way too high for RBIs. And he only had 2 of those. So if you look at, like, if you really want to win the game, is the RBIs. You know, RBIs give you too much points in my system. I might have to rework my algorithm at some point. But yeah, he's in there. He's got the 4-hit game. He hit for the cycle. So we'll watch him as well. If you have time, can we go over Yoshi's perfect game? Yeah, maybe. I don't see why not. It doesn't look too crazy crowded today with stuff that I want to deal with. All right. We also have to check in on the College World Series. So there's no top 100 prospects played yesterday. College World Series is ongoing right now, as well as obviously the World Cup. Had some interesting games already in the World Cup. In the early going here. Couple draws that, like, Spain drew. Like, what? So a lot of weird stuff going on. But anyway, where are we right now? So Ole Miss has been eliminated. They went 2 in a queue in Omaha, and Alabama's gone. So the undefeated teams are Oklahoma and North Carolina. So if they can, they're going to play the winner of Texas. Oklahoma's going to play the winner of Texas, Georgia. And UNC is going to play the winner of West Virginia, Troy. Troy, pretty cool that they got a win. They eliminated Ole Miss. So then that team's going to have to beat them twice. So odds are we're going to get a North Carolina-Oklahoma final series there. So that's what it's looking like. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. All right, let me hop in the chat, and then we'll get going on watching some stuff from last night. Jalen Brunson is a truly special character. I've never watched an athlete like this, a guy who has been down all his life, who still always wants the ball. He wants to be the guy. So I think, like, he's kind of like, it's sort of weird. Like, he's not afraid to be the guy, which I think is the big thing. I don't think he cares to be the guy in terms of, like, this is my team, selfish type stuff. I think he understands the secret, which is that, you know, winning is in basketball in particular is not necessarily about ego stuff. It's about team stuff. It's the ultimate team sport. Once you let go of all that and you play together, you win. You're unstoppable when you play together. That's what this Knicks team did. I think his personality is all his fingerprints are all over the team and the way that they play. but he's not like a selfish guy. But I think that the distinction there is he's not afraid to have the damn ball. And in that Knicks game where they clinched it, when he had the 45 points the other night, a lot of guys did not play well. Cat was barely in the game, so he reluctantly said, "All right, I'll drag you guys to the finish line," and he did. So he is beyond special, like just beyond special, all-time athlete. He's right there. Like by the time he's done playing, he'll be able to challenge Jeter. I think I do. So we'll see. Maybe they have time to put a roof on the floats. No chance, John. It's going to be a sloppy mess, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Let me tell you what. I hated Wemby before this series, and I'm happy to feel the vindication that everyone now sees what I see. He's unethical and whiny. So it's funny, like I have mixed feelings about him now. Agreed. He's young. He's immature a little bit. I think he's an unbelievable player. I think he played bad. I think he should have stayed in the paint and dominated the Knicks. It was crazy how we couldn't get anything. The Knicks couldn't get anything going when they came. They couldn't even go in the paint when he was in the game. But I thought he shot too many threes and didn't stay in the paint on offense. But all the trying to injure people stuff, it's just soft and it's weak and it's really crappy, and not a fan of that right now. But I do think that he, I don't know. On one hand, like if you're a Spurs fan, you want to make excuses for him or you're excited about him, you say, oh, like he's willing to do absolutely anything it takes to win, even if it's a little across the line. But I think I don't have to like that. I'm a Knicks fan, so screw that guy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Totally unselfish. He wants to win, but knows how to be a leader. Yes, he does. He's the best. He's the best. Yeah, we'll watch that Yamamoto game. Dustin May as well. So I think it's Wheeler and Dustin May from last night probably make the most sense. You know, Dustin May goes complete game shutout. Zack Wheeler looked very good again, and this is like a little bit of a big picture thing. The Phillies are rolling a little bit, and I think Wheeler's a big part of that. He's been excellent in June. I think he's got a 1-3 or something in his 3 starts. So yeah, those are the guys I think I want to watch on the mound. May, Wheeler, and we can circle back to Yoshi. And then I think batters, I definitely got to check out Kurtz and PCA. And then we'll see from there. While we're watching Kurtz, we can check out Jeff's cheap-ass home run, which is ridiculous and hilarious. And then we can watch Yoshi, of course. So it's good. All right, maybe we'll start with Dustin May because this is a good story. Dustin May, now on his 3rd team. This is a guy that, couple notes about Dustin May. I hated the nickname Ginger Guard or whatever he had going on, like as if he was named after Noah Syndergaard. It was lazy and crappy, and nobody wants that nickname. Nobody wants to be named after that dude. So he's just Dustin May, and he's filthy and nasty. When he came up with the Dodgers, it was kind of wild. The sinker was outstanding. You saw it. The spin rate on the curveball has always been there. Then he got into a weird spot. You know, came out guns blazing in 23, and I think that was after he had like elbow surgery, and then he had the throat thing with the lettuce. So he went through some muck. Ultimately, the Dodgers are too talented. They end up letting him go to the Red Sox. Goes to the Red Sox, who then don't really fix him at all. And then immediately this offseason send him over to St. Louis. And in my opinion, a pretty shrewd move by Chaim Bloom. I mean, look, they're kind of winning. So that's a big part of it. If you look at his game logs, it's been a trend towards success lately. His last 4 starts in particular, 7-2 versus the Brewers. That's not easy to do. 5 2/3 and 3, which I would say is a good bad start, but it had 9 strikeouts in it versus Texas. And then the last 2 were scoreless, 6-0 versus the Metros and 9-0 last night with 1 hit and 1 walk versus the Padres. Padres kind of stink on offense all of a sudden. I don't know what happened to them, but they do not have it going on right now. So let's check out the player breakdown from Dustin yesterday. 31 heaters, 4-seamers. That's something, you know, he was so heavy sinker at one point. 25 sinkers, 19 cutters, 19 sweepers. So it's 4-seam, sinker, cutter, sweeper. I mean, that's kind of, It's a beautiful pitch mix. Obviously, you'd like to have changeup. He threw 4 of those, and then curveball, which is something we were asking for him to throw more of, and at times he has. He did back off of it a little bit in this one, although he did face a lot of righties. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Either way, he looked really strong, and you're going to see that he's back to like kind of getting off the barrel, and yeah, he's been a lot better, and it's good to see him kind of get downhill, you know, and get some momentum for himself. So 61% first pitch strikes. He threw almost 70% strikes in this game. You know, the velocity is pretty good. It's not like 100 anymore, but I mean 96, 97. He's got good stuff. So we've always liked him, and we definitely always rooted for him. And now let's go watch this game. All right, Cardinals and Padres. "101 pitches. Okay. We'll watch them all. We'll power through. I don't love this camera angle, but anyway, let's check out big Dustin May. I kind of like the beard hair combo he's got going on right now. It's not too long, but it's got some nice curl to it and some puff to it, and I think it's very swaggy. Looks good coming out of the back of that red hat. Ooh, went for the backdoor sinker there. Now he's going to get Tatis out with a sinker. There's Mason Wynn hosing that across the field. So first out is a ground out. May looks good with that red beard and the Carl's uni. I just said that. That's great. 13 earnings in first 2 starts and 21 total since. Very good. This is what happens when you're hiring a hitting coach with a career 45% ground ball rate like Souza. Steven Souza, hitting coach. Never thought I'd see that either, but then again, I have no idea anything about his philosophies. All right, here's a punchy on a sweeper. Note the spin rate, 34.28. It's higher than McLean. Like, he's always had this ability to go super duper crazy with the spin on the breaking balls. 34.28 is alien shit. And this is 88 miles an hour with late catch to it. We don't have a great view on this, but this ball comes ripping out. First of all, check out the hand placement on that. He is so under the ball there, and a finger on the side. Comes out, it's just a white blur. And right here, it feels like a good pitch to hit, but then look at the finish on that thing. Just almost like it's positively charged and the barrel's positively charged, and it's like, I got to get away from that thing. So that was super nasty. And he's got depth on it, so I think it's sort of a curveball. So I think maybe they're mislabeling a few things here. All right, sinker into Machado. A lot of talk about Machado as well. We should probably dig on him at some point. He's getting killed by velocity. So that's interesting to note. I've never thought of him as a guy who couldn't hit fastballs. So maybe there's something under the hood that I'm not sure about. I do know that he went and apparently worked with Teacher Man. So there's a little bit of criticism there. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Anyway, he chops that one in the ground. That's the first inning. Second inning, Gavin Sheets. Get me over curveball. Beautiful. And now four-seam. Very good location up and away. Mason Wynn. Awesome shortstop. And now here's Xander. Did I go over Connolly early yesterday? I haven't had a show since Friday, so no, I have not. And he's not really on the list, but we'll see. We'll see what time we have. All right, here's a sweeper, 0-2. Chopped foul, and then he's going to go backdoor sinker. So I think this has also become part of his game as well, as the finishing sinker. He used to really, I feel like he used to really live sort of in here with his sinker, pretty much exclusively, but now he's going to that backdoor action. So, you know me, I mean, I think that's a fantastic thing to add into your repertoire because it requires less talent. Like, it's more about, like, less physical talent. It's more about placement and timing. You know, you don't have to generate a swing and miss by being nasty. You can get a take. So, all right, here's back-to-back four-seamers to Wagner. He's a day and a half late, chops it over to third, and that's the second inning. Now Ty France. I see London. I see France. I see a very good defensive first baseman. who swings kind of a little bit of a wet newspaper. He's more of a contact hitter. When you looking at him, you would think he'd be a power hitter. Anyway, gets in on the hands there, a little fly out to center. Here is Song. Just rolling over, pitches away. Machado. Machado might just need an eye exam like Muncy. I don't know, sometimes when I watch him, like, he's so relaxed in the box, I wonder if he's, like, really ready for the amount of velocity he's about to face. If it's almost like he's, like, maybe too confident that he can get to everything, and then he digs himself a hole. All right, there's a cutter in. Let me see the location on this pitch to Song. You know, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good, and it does work for the pop-up. All right, here is Duran. And you see the bottom half of this Padre order is pretty bad. Been pretty decimated. Oh, a little fly ball drop to the leg. Burleson. Nice play, and he is perfect through 3. We go to the 4th. Tatis, cutter ball. And now 4-seam. Interesting. He pounded him with sinkers at first at bat. Now he goes to the 4. And it's like his 4th weak fly out in the same fashion. Either to first baseman, second baseman, or shallow right field. Now a first pitch cutter out to Merrill. Another guy who doesn't always have a great cutter shape, although this one's really good for him. 11 inches of vert. But this is a great spot. Really good spot, and it's 92 plus. Which, you know, I like that. So good pitch there, gets in on those hands nicely. And here comes Manny again. Sweeper away, and now fastballs. But I don't understand why he would go to a new hitting coach. This is what I talk about sometimes about great being the enemy of good. Yeah, and also, like, just like getting bored sometimes. Like, you want something to work on. You think you're going to have a level up. So you go see the hot new hitting coach, and then you get all messed up. You know, Manny's been hitting really good for a long time. I don't think he needed to change anything he was doing. This is even a good swing. Ends up being an out. Just missed that. 99.5 at 30. But, like, he's always had it in him to spray the ball all over. He's more of a doubles hitter with some power. But to go to the judge approach, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that was. But anyway, that's 4 very fast innings, and now we have Sheets. Cutter in ball. Cutter down, strike, no challenge. This is a good comment. Machado's contract is going to age poorly for Padres. I don't think there's any question about that. And same with Xander. And I like both of these guys. I do, as players. I think they're all-time players of my generation. But you're totally right. And looking around the league right now, when I was doing the Yankee game the other day, they were talking about how good Paul Goldschmidt's been. You know, Goldschmidt's, I think he's 37 or 38, and I think he's the only player at that age or above with positive WAR right now, besides position player, that is. You know, Chapman or whatever you could count. But this is a nice play by Nootbaar. Stayed low on that. So, yeah, like, you're looking at the future of the game. It's getting younger and younger and younger. You have 2 guys that are signed into their 40s who are already showing signs of decline without a question, at least from the physical standpoint. And there's a lot of years left on that deal. So, you know, the Padres, like, that's a tough one. Ooh. So here it's crazy. He's so sinker-ish, but then this one's a nice 4-seam up. Perfect location, blows away Bogarts. 2 outs in the 5th, and now we have Wagner. Cutter strike. Change up. That's filthy. That's the first one we've seen. Look at that. And what did he throw this off of? He threw it off of a cutter to change up. So opposite movement here, about the same speed range. Look at this pitch drop. That's when you know Dustin May's feeling it. Yeah, he was really feeling it. They went to double up on that changeup. And it's a good one again. Gets him on the ground. Negative vert on that. Low spin rate, probably kicking it. So I've seen 5 pretty good pitches in this, six pretty good pitch types from Dustin May in this game already. Sinker strike. Worst contract, Devers or Manny? How many years left on each of those? What's the comparison there? I don't know. It's tough. You're also banking on Manny to play a premier position, third base. So eventually, if that, that was screaming heater attempt for the punch out, just yanked it a little bit. I don't know. That's a tough question. They still have good baseball left in them, I'm sure, but there's some bad signs there. And talk about a good sequence here. I want to point this one out really quick. So he gets to 1-2, and he goes for the four-seam up right here to France, right? Up in is the target, pulls it away. But this ball's not that far off the plate, and yet it doesn't get the swing, right? You see it's only 2 inches off the plate, right? But then he starts a pitch off the plate away and runs it back to the zone, which is the sinker. And what happens here is France swings super late because initially out of hand, he sees this ball over there, and he just took a ball over there. So he's like, I'm not swinging at that. And then he tries to swing way too late. But if you try to start your swing now, I mean, you're too late. So that's the beauty of beating the emergency hack. And a nice little sequence there. Four-seam up, used his miss to his advantage. Very good pitching there. All right, here's Song again. Maybe Manny was just trying to get ahead of age-related regression. That's the other thing. They didn't really have to extend him when they did. That was a Padres decision. I know maybe he was asking for it, and they just said, okay, sure, no problem. But why wouldn't you take all the extra guaranteed years and sign yourself up all the way through 40? I mean, of course, anybody would. Shit, if they could have gave me free money right now, I'd still be taking it. But not everybody gets that. Padres did that a few times. I mean, the Darvish one is very curious as well. I mean, he's paid to like 42 or 43. Not really into that. Ooh, 94-mile-an-hour cutter in for the finish into the dead zone. This is the Scherzer special. Getting into this area. Man, that had late bite on it too. So he's incredible here. Absolutely nothing has happened yet. 2 outs in the 6th. Sweeper strike. Fouled back on the four-seam.
0-2 for the catcher.
Sweeper up.
He's ready with his 1-2 pitch.
Another sweeper. Chopped foul. And then four-seam up. It's such the thing that people miss about the sweeper, especially right on right. People think it's nasty. It's not even about being nasty. It just gets the hitter's attention in such a different way. And then look at how that fastball plays. You know? So, you know, I think that's what people miss a lot. It's a tremendous setup pitch. So he's juiced through 6. All right, we're on to the 7th. Tatis, so perfect through 6, and we're back to the top of the order.
Games 1 and 2 this season, maybe a lot of adrenaline heading into the year. So much excitement for him for what was over the last 12.
PE owner's going to do whatever it takes to get rid of them at some point. The Padres' new owners, yeah, probably. So hard to be a productive player at that age. Last year, people made a big deal about Springer's production as a 35-year-old, and this year it's gone. I could have told you that. I mean, I would have bet anything that he couldn't duplicate that again. It was incredible to watch last year, but even 2 years ago, Springer looked cooked. And then last year, he pulled one out of his rear end and had a season for the ages. And I still think he's a useful player, but that season came out of nowhere. So here's where he loses the perfect game on a 3-2 fastball up to Tatis. So there's the perfect game. Gone. First pitch out here to Merrill, four-seamer. Mason Wynn, nice play to maintain the no-hitter. And then Machado is going to get the hit to end the no-hitter. Sinker down, that's actually a really good take, and he's going to get hit on a cutter. I feel like the third baseman had to go for this. I don't know, what do you guys think? Could this ball have been fielded? Yeah, he could have got there. There's no doubt. I mean, it's right next to you. No hitter on the line? I'm sorry. I need your jersey to get a little dirty here. That's all I'm saying. No hitter on the line. It's water under the bridge now, but still. All right, so first and third, and guess what happens? He gets right out of it with a double play. Sheets, ground ball to Wynn. Great play by Wynn. Throws off the wrong foot. I bet you this throw is 100 miles an hour. Actually, I have no idea, but I can look it up. Look at this. Steps on it with the wrong foot. And fires a bullet while jumping over the runner. He's so good. His arm is such a weapon at short. And that gets Dustin May out of the 7th. On to the 8th. Somebody remind me to look at how fast that throw was when we finish this outing. All right, 8th inning. He's going to cook the rest of the way as well. So that was it. 2 base runners, and then he goes, I believe, 3 up, 3 down in both of the 8th and the 9th. The answer is Yu Darvish, in my opinion, for worst contracts. That's how I feel. That was like a gift. They gave him like a retirement gift. I would have loved a nice, hey, here's an extra whatever to not play. We know you're not going to play. You're old as shit, you know? Yeah, I agree with Scott. I think Manny will have a hot stretch this year. Man, how do we forget about Chris Bryant? We forgot about him because he doesn't play baseball anymore. Sweeper away, check swing can't hold up. That's vicious. I do think he's got more upside on his sweeper than most because of that spin rate. I think you can get more chase out of it when your spin's way up there over 3,000. It's just like because guys won't identify it as much. Wonder if the Padres would deal Mason Miller. Can't put anything past that front office. AJ, can't put anything past him. All right, here's a changeup for a strikeout. Only his 3rd changeup of the day. He threw them all to Wagner. That pitch isn't even close, but they'll take it. And now we're back to Ty France.
And counting tonight's work, last 4 starts, 31 strikeouts.
6th inning or later.
That's kind of a lost start in a way, is it not?
8th inning, sitting here.
If third baseman can cut that ball off, that's his ball. I agree. How far did you ever go in a game without giving up a hit or a walk? Well, I didn't start many games in the majors, so not very far. Got a no-hitter in college. I mean, I threw a hit and no-hitter out of the bullpen probably more than once. Man, big time fired up on that high elevated cutter right here to Ty France. His cutter metric is all over the place, but he throws it hard at least. All right, 9th inning.
For Dustin May.
Song will lead off. He had a long trip to the plate in the 6th. And he has had.
Well, that's Blaze Jordan at third. I didn't realize that. Good context here. Nearly stole an in-betweener from Wynn earlier in the game when Wynn called him off. I think that was in his head. All right, there's a line out. First out in the 9th. 1 pitch out here. Hey, what was the stadium we got chirped in the most in the bullpen? Philly? I mean, yeah, Philly is obviously notable. Honestly, San Francisco, especially like when we were down the lines, they were pretty good. A lot of good chirps down there. White Sox is underrated for chirps, but they're everywhere. There's one. You know, I don't even want to say what I want to call this guy, but there's one guy who sits over the bullpen in Washington on the visiting side, and he loves to say the worst thing you can say to a person, like right as they're going into the game, like "Don't blow out your elbow" or stuff like that. And that's not even a chirp. That's just like I want you to come down here, and then we'll handle it down here. All right, so here's how he ends the game. It's a vicious 86-mile-an-hour sweeper to punch out Tatis for the complete game shutout. And this guy's rolling. You could see watching it during this outing, he kind of had everything working, both fastballs. He was very unpredictable with the usage of his fastballs. And then the breaking ball, you know, it's got so much action. The cutter is a decent bridge. I feel like that might be his most vulnerable pitch, but at least he throws it hard. And then I actually really like the changeups he threw. Throw more of those, Dustin May. All right, here's slow motion from behind. He's another guy who's combining a ton of really good qualities out there. He's tall, so he's got crazy levers. He's very mobile. I mean, look at this leg swing. Very Walker Buehler-esque, but even more high, so he's already counter-rotated. His drift is so natural. Gets weightless at the top, drops into the drift. Hips are level. Hip-shoulder separation is insane. I mean, his elbow's all the way back behind his body right now while his foot's planted in the ground, and then he's incredibly bendy. And then he does like a weird like recoil thing on finish, but I feel like in a way that must transfer energy really well. I don't know. And then also, you know, you just got to love him getting super juiced on that. Let's watch him from the other side. It's a weird move with the back foot. You guys see this? He's been doing this the whole game. So check out his back foot. It comes off the ground momentarily, right? It's off the ground, and then it goes back on the ground, then he replants it. Never seen that before in my life. Drag, minor pop-up, and then like a little extra toe push here. You ever see anything like that in your life? I've never seen anything like that. But that's pretty fascinating. That's unique. I've never seen anybody replant with the back toe and then make that play. That's super, super, super weird. All right, I want to go look up real quick that throw by Mason Wynn. I'm just curious. Let's see here. That was like 7th inning. Mason Wynn, he threw that ball 83 miles an hour off the wrong foot. Okay, it wasn't as fast as I thought, but 83 on that play. So that's good to know. Good to know. All right, what we got in the chat here? Anthony Rendon got to be a contender, but didn't they buy him out or something happened there? So that's kind of over with now, right? Before the college no-hitter, did you feel any different before that game? Love hearing the hungover perfect game stories. So, I mean, not to like get too into the weeds here, but yeah, I mean, I definitely handled things differently in college. I mean, I used to go out the night before I pitch, you know, on like a Thursday night. I pitch Fridays. I would just go to the field and go in the locker room. And my typical college routine was insane. Like I would like wait for my parents to show up with like bagels from Brooklyn, and I eat some bagels, and then like I would play MVP baseball, and I usually pick Roy Halladay, and I pitch with him for a while, and then I go in the training room and they work on my arm, and they do a bunch of stretches that nobody ever does now, like all sorts of external rotation stretches. And then I just remember that day, the PT that was working with me, the trainer, she was like, why don't you try to throw a no-hitter today? And I was like, all right, that's a pretty good idea. And then sure enough, you throw a no-hitter. So that's the only thing I remember really from that game that's even semi-interesting. But yeah. What else we got in here? I think trading Miller would be smart for them. They trade Miller, and they still have a top bullpen in the league. What's the point of having Miller if they don't have enough offense to get a lead? I agree, but they're still in it in the wild card situation right now, and it's hard to pull the shoot on that yet. But well, we'll see. I was talking to my wife about it this morning. Like the real first finish line is the end of July, because then there's the trade deadline, and you know we see what direction a lot of teams want to go. We don't have any information on that yet. Bloom showing his worth with the start to this season. Feel like he was ran out of Boston. I think he's fantastic. I really do. Really good evaluator, really smart. Actually, a lot better people person than people realize. So I think he's good. He's got a long runway there, but it's an interesting dynamic this year because they're ahead of schedule with like being in the hunt. Very similar to the 2021 Red Sox that I was on. And sometimes when you're ahead of schedule, that can mess up your master plan. So I'm curious how he handles this deadline. It'll be interesting. Does he still try to move guys like Nootbaar and some other pieces off the roster and continue this rebuild, or does he kind of like push for it? I mean, I don't know. You could go either way here. They definitely rejuvenated a lot more spark in me than I initially thought that I had. That's great. That's a really good testimonial for them. Would you trade May if you were Chaim Bloom? So that's the thing. I don't think you have to yet, but you have to prepare for both possibilities here, whether you want to go in or not go in, you know. As a Cardinals fan, the conversation was trading Dustin May deadline, but what do you think they do now when the NL race? Yeah, we were just talking about this. I just don't know yet. I think they're close to like maybe going for it a little bit, but I know they also have to remain patient at the same time. So very interesting what Chaim decides to do. But the next, what is it? The next calendar month. So from now until July 5th, till the All-Star break, pretty crucial for the players if they want to go for it this year. Adam, do you think video game baseball taught you something important about real life baseball? Not so much teaching, but more so like I would recommend this for anybody. Like, put a pitcher in there that you think is similar to yourself stylistically, and pitch with them your exact way that you want to pitch, and it really helps you remember like how you want to pitch your game. Like, I used to pick myself in the show sometimes in spring training to like get acclimated with pitching with myself, and I would pick a random opponent and pitch like 3 innings at a time. You know, a righty, it's like cutter, sweeper, fastball, next at bat, sweeper, fastball in, fastball up. Like, just mess with your combinations, because you're going to make every pitch as a video game player, and then you go out there on the field and you feel like you can execute from there. All right, we got a super chat from Levi DeWeese 2254. Hopefully I didn't mess up your name there, but I appreciate the super chat. Adam, White Sox trade targets. All right. White Sox trade targets. Okay. I mean, my gut instinct is pitching, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's see. Because they're going to get Kyle Teal back. You got to like and eventually Murakami back as well. So you got to like a lot of what they have offensively. Antonacci's not going anywhere. Vargas, Benintendi, both Montgomerys. Meadroth's been good. Peters has actually been okay. So, you know, and then Teal will replace Romo. So, you know, you're looking at maybe one more bat if you were going to do it. And I would think it would be a righty bat if you were going to go for it. Right now, they have the 3 righties on the bench, Acuna, Grichuk, and Pereira. There's upgrade potentially, but everybody's in on right-handed bats, and there's not a lot. So I think it's really starting pitching, which could get interesting for the White Sox. I don't necessarily see them in on like a Skubal, but I think starting pitching is the main one, and then obviously getting more relief help. It's not a bad relief core. Obviously, Grant Taylor's the star of the show here. They could use one more leverage guy. So I think they'll be in on a reliever and maybe a starter. As for the names that might be out there, you know, Sandy, Jose Soriano, maybe Peralta if the Mets falter. I could see Brooks Raley being a fit in this pen. I know that they have a bunch of lefties here, but he's a little better than some of these guys. I don't know. We'll see who becomes available, but they're going to be in the pitching market if they stay in this thing for sure, because you got to like their offense. You know, Davis Martin, Sean Burke for sure feeling good. K's been pretty solid, but they could beef up this rotation quite a bit. I know that Schultz is maybe hurt now, but I know he's on the horizon. Hagen Smith, but I don't think you can trust the walk rate. Pitching would be my answer, although I don't know specifics on that off the top of my head. All right, please don't forget to give us some likes. All you got to do is click that thumbs up button. If you're in TikTok and you want to come over and get on the chat, come over to YouTube. Get on the chat. White Sox had Luis Castillo and they win the World Series. So Castillo could maybe be available. I really want them to go get Yordan. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray could be a move. Joe Ryan. Okay, I'm seeing you guys. Sonny Gray and Chappie for Teal. Then the White Sox draft Lackey 1-1. Wow. That would be an interesting move. Double move. Punt on catching for right now. Draft Lackey. Maybe he's up next year or the year after. Probably not this year. Who knows? I think they look for a longer-term piece like Detmers or Soriano. Detmers could be good. He's been trending well. A lot of people mentioning that. That could be good. Bonhomer for Cade Anderson. Who says no? Probably the Mariners, right? I don't know. Adam, do you think our guy Sirota breaks the MILB record for on-base streak at 73, needs 21 more games? Probably not. 21 more games, that's a lot. That's a big ask. That'd be crazy, though, if he can get close to that. Ace Reese. Cardinals need to bring up Liam Doyle and go for it this year. They're going to be very interesting to see what their level of discipline is, you know? That's what I think, ultimately. They're going to have some discipline in deciding what they want to do as they get close to a potential postseason berth. you know, and they want to decide what they want to do with the last 2 months. On the flip side, Giolito has not been great yet. Now they're pitching an opener in front of him, 4, 5, 6. Got to be a frustrating year. He needs to finish with a flurry. So I was curious with that. Man, Machado's batting 177 right now. This maybe it's worth taking a 2-second glance over Manny here. Look, one of the all-time players, probably a Hall of Famer. You know, does it on both sides of the field. Whatever you think about him, like in a lot of ways, he embodies some qualities most people like he plays every day, like, you know, kind of an old school player. But I don't know, been a weird year for him. 177 average, 613 OPS. Defense is still there. Let me go look at his breakdown here. This would be the first year since 2017 where he'll be below average on run value for hitting. And the first year ever where his xWOBA is below league average, and it's way below as of right now. So what gives here? Bat speed's declining, but not to any ridiculous level. Still above average. Whiff rate's been going the wrong way for a bit, and therefore strikeout rate. His walks are fine. Maybe he's taking too much a little bit. Also, I mean, talk about a guy who doesn't care about running anymore. 5th percentile speed? Kidding me? 5th percentile speed is wild. All right, let me look at his bat tracking, because if he went to Teacher Man, maybe there's something that changed. I don't know. You would think. Well, the first board says no. Bat speed, I mentioned it's a little lower, but it's still really good. Swing length is virtually the same. Stance is a little deeper in the box, which you would think he might have done that to catch up with fastballs, and he's a little taller, but it's no place he hasn't been before. Attack angles and tilt all look exactly the same as prior seasons, so I'm not really getting it. But it does look like he's super late on fastballs, huh? This is his average ahead or behind on fastballs this season. So pretty far behind. What was he last year in 2025? A little bit more towards the middle. A little bit more towards on time. 2024, I would say a tiny bit over there as well. So here's 2026. You can see he's now really trending majority of the time to being late on fastballs. And then also being under them. Late and under. 2025 also relatively under. 2024 more flat on under. Interesting that he's flailing on fastballs as well. So off the end of the bat, late and under. Not a good combination for contact there on fastballs. Still more competitive on that than other pitches, but I don't know. Not a lot of swing changes there, but definitely not looking the way you'd like him to look. All right, we'll do with somebody else here in a minute. Let me take a peek here. Yeah, I saw Tatis has a negative launch angle right now, right? Giolito didn't have a spring training. Remember that year Snell got shelled. I mean, yeah, it definitely sucks, but he's going to have it. The market won't care. So he's going to have to pitch well in the second half is my only thing. At this point, career-wise, who do you think has been better, Machado and Arenado? I bet Manny has him on WAR, but I'm super biased here, so you cannot ask me about anything like this. It's Nolan for me all day long. Defense, even better than Manny. He's having a better year than him right now, so I just love Nolan. Do you think the Red Sox will be buying or selling? Got to be selling, right? I'd be surprised if they're not. What about the Braves? We talked about them a little bit earlier. I'm a little worried about them because of their starting pitching. I think that's the biggest. They've been able to be fine without it right now, but you can see it cracking a little bit here, a touch with Strider, and like Schwellenbach's nowhere to be found, and they really need him. Can't have it all on sale, you know? What do I think of the Yankees and the Volpe situation? I mean, I think Caballero deserves to play every day. I think Anthony's still a useful player, but probably shouldn't be playing every day right now. I did think, to his credit, he played a really good game on Sunday versus the Blue Jays. I like Anthony's tools, but does he access them as often as he should? The answer is no. So I like Caballero as the starter for now. No doubt about it. Yankees bullpen definitely needs upgrades, although you got to feel great about Bednar right now, Hill, and even Cruz. Cruz is super useful, those three in particular. Hedrick's good as well, but we'll see. We got to answer this. Not a question, but did you see Mandalorian and Grogu? If so, what did you think? Haven't watched this yet. I'm a big Mandalorian fan. I've been waiting to get some time alone. You know, my family doesn't watch much Star Wars with me, so I'm going to lock in on this, and then maybe I'll get back to you on the information with there. But I'm a big Mandalorian guy. I love the old feel of Star Wars, so that kind of brings you back, you know, a little bit. All right, let's get on. We've only watched one player, so let's watch PCA. He hits for the cycle last night. He is, I mean, for all the talk, and it's because people don't understand baseball, really. He leads the NL in position player WAR. I mean, the defense, the base running, the whole thing. The chase rate's gotten a little bit better. He's at 38%. Last year was over 40. We talked about all he had to do was mitigate a little bit. And he's mitigating just enough. I don't know why people continue to throw this guy balls in the zone, particularly down, but they do. And he went for the cycle yesterday with a little bit of reverse action, going from home run to triple to double to single. So Cubbies and my Rockies, who had a very sloppy ninth inning, made me sad to watch. They could have won this game, but they did not. And PCA had a very productive day. Here's the first at-bat where he homers off of Lorenzen. Weird lighting on this camera. All right, fastball in ball.
Left-hand hitting contingent.
Really weird lighting. We need a cinematographer stat on Marquee Sports Network. All right, so four-seam in, sinker, now change up. Good take below the zone, and then he's going to wham a cutter. This is why do I not like cutters in hitter advantage counts? Terrible pitch. And I love me some Michael Lorenzen. What a great dude, but that was a mistake. Middle down to PCA. He loves the ball down. He drills that into the bleachers, 106 at 28 for the home run. He does this thing where he's basically like, check out my piece, coming around third. And that's the first hit of the cycle. And you see Mike's gotten murdered by lefties. And I got to wonder if they should learn from this. This is a bad game plan here. Smoked out to center. PCA, very dynamic. We all know it. Does feel like he's tried to be a little more quiet at the plate. I heard Bregman had challenged him to go up there with a little bit more of a plan. But nice swing. I mean, right in his wheelhouse, but nice swing. Live by the free swinging, die by the free swinging. All right, second at bat, he's going to go triple. Arguably a better swing here. But gets the triple instead of the home run this time. Bounces right off of that door, I believe, of the visitors' bullpen here. So let's see what he gets, what pitch he drives here. Still trying to throw cutters, but not landing them. Here's a changeup. Strike, and then a sinker, which I don't really understand at all. I'm sure the Rockies are calling these pitches because I can't possibly think this was a good pitch choice. Anyway, just hits it a bit too high, doesn't quite get out, bangs off that wall out there, kicks away. And once it kicks away, this guy's going to get a triple, and if you bobble it at all, he's going to get a homer. So, home run and triple to start off the day. You know, Ted Williams said it. It's all about getting a good pitch to hit. And PCA's gotten two of the best pitches he could ever want to hit in this game. Let's see when he turns it on here a little bit. Still kind of coasting around first, and then here he goes. Turn it on to third, cruises into third. So home run and triple. Next at bat, he's going to get the double. So Lorenzen has gotten beat on a sinker down the middle and a cutter bottom of the zone. Curveball backdoor, no. And cutter coming here. They're going to try to get it up and in. Misses down and in. I mean, I used to do this too, so that's why I get so sensitive about it, because goodness gracious, I've done this same mistake so many times, but I mean, another great pitch for him to hit. Some days as a hitter, like, you have a great day, and it's just because you got three perfect pitches for you to smash. Down in, doesn't get it off the plate, target was up. Leans on that. 102 miles an hour for the double. So home run, triple, double, and here comes the single. This one's going to be off my guy Bernie, Red Sox legend. Sweeper away, sinker coming here. And then another sinker. This one's, I believe, a little bit more up, and PCA gets under that thing. Yep, laces it into right. Easy single, and there is the cycle. Very cool to do it in consecutive at-bats. Also, you got to love the reverse order of that. And, yeah, just a great day. Great day for the guy. Man, look how choppy. It's weird because I thought he got under this ball, which he obviously did, but look at the follow-through. Super low follow-through here. And he's been rolling. What a dynamic player. Definitely was worth a little more than a couple months of Javi Baez and 2 years of Trevor Williams, in my opinion. And then for good measure, he does also get a sac fly here, which brought the Cubbies back within 1, which would be important. And this is off of Vodnik. Rockies tried to go straight gas to close this game out. Vodnik and Mejia to Halverson, and none of them pitched particularly well. As you can see, we have some very non-competitive pitches here. But PC hangs in there to really get on top of that. This was a great player. He would have went 5 for 5. Ends up getting the line out. Now, it wouldn't be PCA without the full PCA experience because he gets the hit off Bernie, and then he immediately gets picked off of first base. Very quickly here. Let's see when does that happen.
He does it here in front of the home crowd.
His birthday, Babe Herman, Gracie, and now PCA.
He got picked off between the third pitch and the fourth pitch, but we don't have it. So whatever. He gets picked off. So full PCA immediately picked off right after hitting for the cycle. Pretty crazy. I don't have the video on it. I'm sure I could find it on the research tool. Maybe I'll do that. Don't be lazy, Adam. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Here it is. I just assumed he wasn't paying attention, like his head was in the wrong spot. Wow, terrible camera angle. Can we get a better camera angle on that? We'll go first base pitcher. Let's see Bernie's pickoff move at least. Oh, it's a little snap throw. Oh, Bernie with a little action on the back end. He was fired up. Sit down, MFer. That's what that looked like to me. That was pretty electric. Sick burn. So I like that. And anyway, like I mentioned, this kid's been awesome. What's there not to like except for the free swinging? But he's just killing it in all areas. #1 in fielding run value in the game. He's doing it again. He's putting up another year. He could definitely get to that 30-30 again. And average has been higher. On base is way higher. So he could be like going to that next level here. But we'll see if the consistency will be there or not. That's usually the final step. There. All right, let me get in the chat here. Hitting for the cycle, immediately getting picked off is so funny. Yeah. Do you think the Chicago White Sox will make the postseason? They'll be right. It's going to be close. I know that's a bad answer, but I think they got a good shot. Adam, I think CC is a hardcore Star Wars fan. Is that correct? Yes, love Star Wars. Dressed up as a Star Wars character for his bobblehead day, which was pretty good. PCA and Corbin Carroll just look freaky fast. Simpson too. It's different when they run. Totally agree. Those little legs just chopping into the dirt. Terrible deal that made to placate Lindor and make him more comfortable, in my opinion. I don't think Lindor had anything to do with the Javi move. I think that was more Alex Cohen. But we'll see. Don't really know. COVID definitely hurt the evaluation of PCA as well. He was traded very quickly. He also had been hurt. He barely played for the Mets at all. But yikes, that one looks bad right now. It does, looking back on it. The big issue for me is maybe not the bad evaluation of PCA. That can be understood. It's the bad evaluation of Javi Baez at that moment. Did they think Javi Baez was going to be the piece that pushed him into the playoffs? I think that was Very wrong. Very wrong. White Sox are the only team running a 7-2 lefty split against righties, forcing them to use their secondaries when they're seeing a righty. Their sliders are hanging. Yeah, but he's not like a put you over the edge guy at that point. Yeah, we could do this at some point. We also got to do all-star ballots and a lot of other stuff. All right, so we did one hitter, one pitcher. Let's watch Zack Wheeler from yesterday. As I've mentioned, the Phillies are kind of cooking. We'll just watch result pitches on Wheeler. He goes 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. Overall, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better return from TOS. I know it's not the bad kind, but still. 2.01 with a .85 whip through 10 starts. Averaging over 6 innings a start. Never could have expected that. Never could have expected that. And he's been even better his last few games. Anyway, what's the player breakdown? How did he accomplish this versus the Marlins? 31 heaters, up to 96. That velocity's creeping back up to where it was. 18 splits, 15 sinkers, 15 cutters, 9 curveballs, 9 sweepers. So a little bit of everything. Got plenty of whiff, tons on the split. Had a good split going in this game, I guess. 65% first pitch strikes. Obviously, Zack Wheeler is, a true ace of the game. So let's watch him get his outs versus the Marlins. Liam Hicks, who's been awesome. I saw he's in the top 10 in the MLB in RBIs, which I bet a lot of people wouldn't know. Leadoff hit to start off the game for the Fish. Chopping that one the other way against, a little semi-shift, and then a walk to Otto Lopez. So 2 on, nobody out here in the first, and here is Kyle Stowers. Gets him to an 0-2 count, fastball up.
Fly ball left field.
Fairly deep. He was very close to giving up 3 runs right off the gate, but doesn't. So gets that out, and then he's going to come back to strike out Xavier Edwards with a front door sinker. Very tough guy to strike out. This is the happy accident front door sinker. Edwards swings under that for the second out of the first, and then he's going to get through the first with a called strike 3 on a sinker backdoor to Heriberto Hernandez. Perfect pitch. Perfect pitch. So he actually finished 2 guys with sinkers in this sequence here. And super locked in now. All right, second inning, called strike 3 again. This one's a cutter, probably backdoor to, wonderful pitch to Casey. He couldn't be more wrong. That is a horrible challenge, sir. I want to watch this whole sequence of the challenge. Backdoor cutter. Owen Casey thinks that ball's way outside. I want to see his reaction to how much in the zone this is. This is funny.
And here we go.
Oh, wow.
Look how shocked he is.
He's like, damn. All right, you're out. Next up, another called strike. So he punches out 3 or 4 guys in a row looking. This is the low freeze on the fastball. Marcy looked like he wanted to challenge that. He would have been wrong on that one as well. That's just perfect. This is what we call cheese at the knees.
And a called strike 3.
I mean, precision. Wow. All right, from precision to a walk. Falls behind Mac, decides to not give in there, walks him, and then he's going to get out Javier Sanoja. Sweeper. Roll over to short. Trey Turner comes and gets it, and that's it for the second inning. Third inning, back to the top of the order, and Hicks. Ooh, perfect location on that cutter. Jams the heck out of him. Trey's got to come get that one. 49 miles an hour. Wow, how are your thumbs doing on this pitch?
It's an unbelievably great fit.
Damn, he got in there. All right, Otto Lopez first pitch out. 4-seam up, just beats him. Middle up. Lopez had struck out the last time, didn't want to strike out again. Actually, maybe he didn't strike out the last time. Pops up to right. Rincones with the catch. I saw he had his first career home run in that game. And then Stowers, 4-seam up, half swing, see you later. So let's finish some guys with sinkers, some guys with fastballs. Got some really weak contact on cutter and sweeper. There's a leadoff walk to Edwards. strikeout of Hernandez. We've been waiting for some splits because based off the metrics that we looked at, he had a ton of swing and miss on splits. So maybe it starts here in the 4th. This is a nasty right-on-right split to Hernandez. This is a double whammy pitch because if they were to hit it, it's probably a ground ball or you can get miss. Perfect pitch choice in that situation. Now four-seam here. Oh my God, perfect pitch up and in. That's the thing, like he's got such precision. Look at that. The swing just can't get to that. Man, perfect pitch. And then another called strike 3 on a backdoor cutter. So he's done this now twice. And Marcy's punched out twice looking on a pitch away. This is a dot. This is another perfect pitch. How many of these have we seen in this game? My goodness, he's frozen, I think, 4 guys on perfect pitches. The backdoor cutter is special when you can do that. That's nasty. All right, out for the 5th inning. First pitch out on a cutter. Actually, it's going to be a hit. Joe Mack stays through that. Gets it over. He's going to get a leadoff double. This is a good swing. This is a good pitch, so nothing you can do bad about this. Not even a strike. But Mack, got to give him credit for finding a way to get through that ball. Getting it over Bryce. So leadoff double. Let's see how he strands him. First pitch out to Sanoa. Low liner to right. Runner doesn't advance. Now we got Hicks again. 2-2 count. They're going away with the heater. Gets him to swing off the plate away. Trey Turner a little backhand. Nobody could advance there either. So man on second, 2 outs. And Otto Lopez on a split. So that's his 2nd out of the day on a splitter. And he survives the 5th. 6th inning now. Strikeout coming on a split to Stowers. So this is some more splits here towards the end. Punched out 2 guys with him right here and got a out just now from Lopez. So splits looking good. That was another level up for him. He just kept adding things one at a time over the last few years. Now, front door sinker, emergency swing. Ground ball there. And, I mean, just everything in his arsenal is so useful, so. He's got an answer for everything. I think that's what ultimately makes him the true ace, plus not just the answer for everything, but the ability to locate it. Like, you know, you want the sinker in, look at the target, look at where it goes. Perfect. So you think about the outs he got in this game. Got 18 outs in this game. Probably 7 of them on perfect pitches location. So. Masterclass. He's been amazing. I just can't get over it coming back off TOS and being this dominant. So he's got them cooking. I do think the Phillies are going to get close to the Braves at some point. But just based off the fact that Luzardo's pitched well now, Wheeler, we know about Sanchez. I think that they have enough pitching to kind of like be in every game. So I think they are going to come and make it interesting. I do. All right, let me hop back in the chat, and then we'll go watch Nick Kurtz. And then after that, we can watch Yoshi from the other day, probably. Thoughts on Chase Burns and Andrew Abbott so far? I mean, Chase Burns, I mean, it's probably too rich for him in the NL Cy Young race this year, but in a lot of years, he could be right there. I mean, he's got a top 5 slider in the game, in my opinion. Great fastball. And he's electric. Did Wheeler's arm angle drop? It's been dropping for years. It's been on a steady decline. And it's no different now. 2020, 38 degree. 2021, 38. Then 35, 31, 25. And now he's been at 23 the last 2 years. So, yeah, he's settled into what he said. He felt like he didn't have to contort his trunk as much. He feels much more comfortable throwing with this leveled out, body positioning. So the Mets like Syndergaard and Dark Knight more than Wheeler. Well, you have to remember, Wheeler took about 2 years to come back from his Tommy John. And it wasn't that. It was that the Phillies at the time legitimately offered him money that the Mets didn't believe that he deserved. Over $100 million. And they had DeGrom to think about and others. So I can't kill the Mets. But you would think that they had him in front of them. They could have maybe understood the ceiling a little better. I don't know. Wheeler throwing low slot upshoot before it was cool. Gary and Keith said the same thing last night about Burns and the Cy Young race. Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, let's hop into my guy, the Big Amish, because he's on a burner. I think he's got 7 home runs in his last 8 games. He leads the major league in on-base percentage. He just went over 1,000 OPS on the season. So he was pretty bad early this year. You want to look at Lagrange? Sure. Well, we can look at Lagrange. Just remind me in a minute, and then we can look at him after this guy because he'll be short. I think it's undeniable. He's a top 5 hitter in baseball. And you look at the archetype, the lefty, don't chase a lot, power to all fields archetype, right? So it's James Wood, Nick Kurtz, Yordan Alvarez, and all 3 of those guys are probably in the top 5 right now with Judge being out. Shohei's another one. You want to count him? Something about it, man. Lefties who hit like righties in a way, can scissor those feet, can catch the ball deep. Obviously, he plays in a good ballpark for himself. But I think this guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame. I'm calling it that early. I think he's that good of a hitter. He's going to put up numbers that are going to be obscene. He's perfect for this era. 20.6% walk rate. 99th percentile bat speed. Look at the spray chart of the home runs. It doesn't matter where he catches it. A little behind him, a little in front of him. Who cares? We saw him go after that ball up and in on 96 in Vegas and torch it to right. I think that's this home run right here. Yeah, this is off of Ashby. So he can do this, which, I mean, like 99 up and in, left on left, like what? And then he can have a game like he had last night. So who the heck did they play? The A's, and I should know this. God, I was watching. The A's and the Pirates. That's right. They crushed Jared Jones, who we might need to talk about as well. Not getting any results in the early going, despite throwing absolute thunderballs. All right, here is the Nick Kurtz 2 home runs. The first one's off Jones, 7-pitch at bat.
Back to the beginning with Nick Kurtz.
Changeup down ball. 94.5 mile an hour changeup, mind you, from Jones. So you just saw the home run he hit off Ashby. That home run off Ashby is one of my favorites to watch. Right? And then watch the 2 home runs he hits in this game. They're both going to be Oppo tacos. So it doesn't really matter if he just gets it up in the air. With his thump, it's crazy. And because he doesn't swing at balls, you have to beat him in the zone. Like a Schwarber, you know? And you're just not going to get him to miss 3 in a row too often. So here's that first home run. It's a slider, and he goes Oppo on it, which also weird. But just shows you how he has so much more time than everybody else to see the ball on the way to the plate because he's not afraid to swing late. So that ball's just a line drive at 112 miles an hour at 19 to the opposite field. Maybe Junior Caminero, you know, maybe Aaron Judge, maybe Shohei. I mean, there's not many. James Wood, I mean, there's not many that can hit an opposite field 19-degree home run. You just don't see it. 112 miles an hour. He's so good. I love his swing. I talked about it a lot since last year. Something about this hand action up here. Like the hand's already being back and raised up. So it's like, even though it's a long swing, it's just like, it's simple. You know, the hands are already ready to rock. And they just kind of like go back with him. And he's got that big like lumberjack, like I'm just going to put this foot down when I'm ready. And then just drop the arm bar on it like he's hitting a drive in golf. And you know, it's a unique swing. I don't know if everybody could do it, but if you have his physical ability, you sure can. So there's the first home run, ridiculous, and then he hits the second one here off Majinski. Also Oppo. This one might have been more field helped. Curveball, swing and miss. Fastball, middle, swing and miss. But again, it's hard to get 3 swing and misses in an at-bat. I've been trying to tell people this forever. And now, the last one was at 19 degrees. This one's at 46 degrees. I'm just trying to figure out what he can't do, you know, at the plate. 106 at 46, Oppo? I mean, it shouldn't have went out probably because of the dimensions or whatever. That's what Majinski is thinking, or Maldinsky, whatever you say his name. So he goes 19-degree Oppo line drive and then 46-degree Oppo moonshot. And yeah, like just nobody else can do this really. So if you can do something that others can't do, that I'd say that's pretty cool. And he just continues to bang. He's been particularly hot as of late. I mentioned it, 7 home runs in his last 8 games. In June right now, he's hitting 313, 459, 833 for almost a 1,300 OPS. Here's the home run log. He got 1 on the 7th versus the Astros, 2 the next night, 1 the next night, then took a night off, hit another one, took 2 nights off, and hit 2 more last night. He's already has 16 RBIs in June. Nobody's messing with this dude. And this is what he did last year. He just gets better as it goes. He's gotten better each month. 858 OPS in, 960, wait a minute. 297 in the few games in March. Then he goes 964, 1,025, and now 1,300. I just don't know where it ends. Where does it go? What does his numbers look like at the end of the season? Can he have a 470 on base percentage? Is that possible? I wouldn't put much past him. 20% walk rate. You know teams are scared. But if you put Langoliers behind him, you know, he's going to get a lot of pitches to hit at the same time. So, I don't know. He's crazy. And so if you go to the expected statistics, which I was curious to look at the other day, this is all the batters in MLB right now. It's an interesting list at the top. Yordan, number 1, 490 xWOBA. James Wood, number 2. Juan Soto, number 3. Should have mentioned him. Soto, number 4. So that's lefty, 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 lefty. Baldwin, number 5, lefty. Then you got Judge and Trout. Then Harper, lefty. Then Kurtz. And Kurtz has got them all beat in terms of actual on-base percentage. And then actual WOBA, because he plays in the Cracker Jack box, it translates better. He's number 2. He's right behind Yordan, 429. I'm not ready to say he's a better hitter than Yordan, but he's right there, you know, Ben Rice. But these lefties that can use the whole field, man. I mean, it's been an unbelievable unlock. We don't know how to pitch to these guys, I don't think, quite the same way. So I wanted to point that out, just where he really actually ranks. Jeff McNeil went 3 for 4 with a cheap home run. You ready to see it? Yeah, Lagrange's next. I see you in the chat. Check out Jeff's home run. This was a home run in one of 30 ballparks. Here it is. Changeup coming from Jared Jones. Squirrel right down the line. Sneaks it out into the bullpen. 99.9 at 23, 359 feet. Not a bad swing or whatever, but more of a doubles type of swing. Let's see it from the center field camera because we had a weird angle. Good for Jeff, though, getting a pull side ball in the air. But, yeah, I did look this one up yesterday. Where is it? Yeah. Oh, no, the home run. 13 of 30. Never mind. Somebody said yesterday it was 1 of 30. It was pretty cheap, though, down the line. But never mind. Not as cheap as I thought. Definitely a home run in Yankee Stadium. Got to give Jeff credit. Totally wrong. I thought it was super cheaper than that. I thought it was more close to the wall, more close to the line. So, no, 13 of 30. I'm wrong. Congrats, Jeff. Jeff's struggling. Hitting 238 again. It's been a couple of years since he's had his usual batting average stuff. He's still doing his usual, doesn't strike out, but struggling a little bit. I'd like to see him get going. I don't know. Hasn't really gotten going. All right, Lagrange's next. We'll take a quick look at him. I got to figure out what day he pitched on and everything. But he's been getting moved out to the bullpen. They're trying to get him ready for a potential Yankee call up. So now I got to figure out when he pitched. Carlos Lagrange. AAA baseball. Game log. All right, so his most recent games were the 9th and the 14th. So he's gone from throwing 5 innings. Now he's down a little bit to 2 2/3 and 3 his last 2 starts. Well, watch this last one. He does give up a home run versus Lehigh Valley, but has 5 strikeouts and no walks in a 3-inning outing. So 6-14, Scranton Wilkes-Barre versus Lehigh Valley. Lagrange entered in the 6th inning in relief of Elmer Rodriguez. All right, first batter up is Keaton Anthony. And he's going to punch him with a changeup. Now, one thing I love about Lagrange, and it doesn't matter as much for this year, but I do think he's definitely going to end up as a starter. I think they're going to continue his starter development after they use him this year out of the pen because he's got legit pitches. His changeup might be his best pitch. He's got a plus sweeper. We all know that he throws 100, but he's a mountain of a man. Gives me Betances vibes, honestly. And except for the fact that he's got more pitches and more feel. So I think starting is still very much in the cards for Carlos, even if it's not going to be that way this year. Here's a second consecutive batter he wipes out with a changeup. And they're just nowhere close to that. Let me watch this whole at bat because I'm a little bit curious to see how he gets such an easy wave. He's going to start him with the slider. Ball. That's 92, by the way, that slider. Now he's going to go 88-mile-an-hour slider. Drops it in there. So slider, slider. Now the fastball, 99. Slider, slider, fastball. And then to the changeup, especially off of a fastball down. Very good sequence. But I just say that to point out, like when you're waiting on this guy and you watch him come up for the Yankees later in the year, it's not going to be exactly the same as we've seen in the past where some guy just comes in and he's 99, 100 the whole time. That's part of his game, but he's got good pitches. I think changeup's his main strikeout pitch. All right, so there's a chopper on a ground out there. 7th inning Lagrange, couple strikeouts to start off the inning here. One's on a slider looking right here. Dotted on the corner. I also think like he's got a pretty good delivery. Yankees seem to be having more success with command and location stuff with bigger guys than I can remember anybody else. I mean, look at Schlittler and how much strikes he throws. Honestly, not for nothing, that gives me a lot of hope for Lagrange that, you know, and you can watch him. He's pretty under control out there. There's a dead zone cutter for a strikeout there to Dylan Carlson. And then Robert Moore is going to fly out on a changeup. So most of his outs coming on off speeds. He actually hit that pretty good, but he had no legs behind him, so doesn't get it. Little fly out to right. That's the 7th inning. 8th inning, he does give it up a little bit here. Dylan Moore double, Felix Reyes home run. So 2 guys in a row that have been in the show are going to get him here for Lehigh Valley. 0-0 fastball ambush. Dylan Moore, very good approach there. Doesn't want to get into a deep count with Lagrange. Little leadoff double. And then Felix Reyes is going to clip him on a sweeper. An 0-1 sweeper. Probably hangs it middle in. Not middle down, but a good swing. Rode it out and a home run there. So there's the bad. Double and a homer. And then here's the good. Last 3 batters, fly out, strike out, and another out. This is on 98. Once he gets down to 2 innings stints, I think he's not even really letting it eat right now in AAA. I think you're going to see a guy who's going to be throwing 101, 102, 103 out of the bullpen for the Yankees. There's a slider for a punchy. And then his last batter is Brian De La Cruz, and he's going to get him the ground out on a fastball. Just living at 99. So I do expect him to come up at some point. I don't know exactly the timeline on any of that, but there's a chance that this guy could be one of those elite rookie call-up bullpen guys. I really think he could be. So he's an interesting prospect. I have to be around him enough to have more of an opinion, but he's a very interesting prospect. He really, really is. Adam, do you know why Betances said 6'8" for his jersey number? It's because he was 6'8". That's why. Yankees signed Lagrange for $15,000. Some would say that's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Lagrange, part of the Skubal trade. That would be interesting. Yankees don't really need any more starters right now, but if Skubal would be an upgrade, obviously. He's a starting pitcher, only being developed as a reliever because he's stuck behind everyone. Yeah, he is. But, I mean, they're going to use him. I think they're doing the right thing here. They're limiting his innings a little bit, and then he's going to be a factor out of the pen. And then in the future, I think he'll still be a starter. All right. It's Yoshi time. All right, so Yoshi almost comes through with a perfect game the other day. I was getting all ready to make a video on it, and then obviously it didn't happen. But this was... Shoot, what day was this? Sunday? No. It wasn't Sunday. It might have been Saturday. I think it was probably Saturday. Yeah, Saturday afternoon. 8 1/3, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 home run, 109 pitches, 2.52 ERA. Yamamoto has actually improved this year, mainly his walk rate. Now he's at 4.6% walks. He was already good, but he's gotten better with his walk rate. And I think he's overall better. Similar numbers right now through the beginning of the season, but lower whip due to less walks, and I think he's just so battle-tested. This would be my next pick to actually get the no-hitter in the big leagues because we've already seen that he's come close a number of times. He almost had one in 25 that Jackson Holiday broke up at the very end, and then this one he almost had as well. And it does seem like he's the guy who beats himself the least for the most part. All right, so what are we going to watch here? 41 heaters. Vila was up a full mile an hour today on almost everything. 97 on his fastball. Wow. 23 splits, what a pitch that is. 17 curves. I love that. That combo right there is unique that he has going for him big time. 4-seam splitter curveball. You know, that's really good combo. Actually kind of David Bednar-ish, but he's better with it. 15 cutters, 9 sinkers, 4 sliders as well. Got some whiffs on cutters actually in this game. Only 52% first pitch strikes, but he's better than anyone of digging out of any count because he always has an answer. All right. Dodgers, White Sox. Let's watch this whole game right here from Saturday. Yamamoto. All right. Mind you, almost a perfect game here. Antonacci is the leadoff hitter, so let's watch a master at work. Yoshi, fastball away, dotted.
Starts off Antonacci 0-1.
Splitter away, dotted. Holy cow, what a back-to-back pitches. That's fantastic. 4-seam away.
He's also a guy who will not flinch.
Sorry about that. Curveball coming here. This is one of my favorite pitches he has too because it's 2 speeds down, but he sells it like he's throwing it hard. Then he's going to go ahead and punch Sammy out with the fastball. Down and away. So down and away was the plan there for Sam. He's very precise. That's the first out of the game. Here's former Dodger Miguel Vargas, who's having a tremendous year, should be in the All-Star game. Sinker away, backdoor, perfection. 4-seam up and in. Perfection. Just note how he doesn't miss much. Everybody says command is a myth. No, it's not. Yoshi shows you. Even his misses are good misses. Like that cutter, he missed off the plate with it, right? And then he comes back with the curveball. This is just an interesting at-bat. Great swing by Vargas. Sinker dotted. Perfection. 4-seam up. Perfection, even though it's a ball. Oh, wait, I messed that up. Here's the 4-seam up. Look at this target. Look where it goes. Wham. Then cutter, good miss, wants to get it down and away, and he doesn't miss over the plate. Misses for a ball, and then comes with a curveball, which is something Vargas hasn't seen yet. So he always has some way to get you a little bit off timing. Great swing by Vargy, but he gets nothing for it. So that's the second out of the first, and here is Benintendi. First pitch, splitter out. Perfect pitch again. Rolls it over to Freddie, and he's through the first. Obviously perfect. -4 on this splitter. Look at this thing drop. Middle, below zone. Middle, middle. Below zone. You can't do it better than that. All right, that's the first inning. Second inning. I think it's still too early to fill out the ballot. When do the ballots get counted? I don't want to fill it out until I have a bigger sample size. Four seam. Colston tries to pull the pitch away, rolls it over to second. Cutter in, ties up Montgomery. Montgomery got a rude awakening a little bit having to face Yoshi in this game. You know, like he's looked good so far, but look at the perfection of these pitches. That cutter in to stop the ambush and then a perfect backdoor curveball off of that. My God. Four seam, they're going up with it. Should have been strike three, doesn't get the call. And then splitter called strike. I mean, talk about perfect. This guy's command is insane. Holy sheesh. Look at this. Bink. He gone. Next up, Meadroth. Curveball ball. That was probably pretty close. Cutter coming here. Fouled off. Yama's curveball grip is basically a sweeper grip, but he gets all the way on top of it instead of on the side. Yeah, he does. He kind of flicks it with that thumb. I see what you're saying. But does he got the two-seam orientation? There's other guys that throw curveballs with two-seam orientation. Barrios is one of them. But, man, it's to me, it's like, yeah, it's all the different pitches and the delivery, and that's like what we were first enamored with is the athleticism and the delivery. But are you guys seeing the command?
He was just remarkable.
Boom. See you later up top. Goodbye. Dominant second inning. We go to the third inning. 10-pitch at-bat here. People in Toronto still have nightmares of this guy. They do. It's simple yet hard to do. You know, outside of maybe Luke Weaver, a lot of people can't do that. You know, have such perfect rhythm every time. He's really a Jedi. Fastball up, check swing, doesn't go. So this is a pretty good fight here by Gonzalez as he had him 0-2. He's going to battle Yoshi here for a bit. Little backdoor cutter attempt. We saw Wheeler doing that. Here's a curveball. Another foul ball. Four seam up in. Good take. Four seam again. Perfect pitch again, fouled off. I mean, he's thrown like 50% perfect pitches so far. And then cutter, that's probably the most hittable, and yet that stayed up and got him. And you can tell by Yoshi's reaction that he said, oh, I don't know. I don't know why he missed that one. Huh? All right, next up, Peters, who would eventually get him later in the game. Curveball for a strike. Here comes a four seam away. Dotted. I mean, so good at throwing the low four seam. It's a lost art. Then he elevates later, gets underneath over barrel there, pops him up foul. 97 away, and then splitter. Rolls it over. Easy play at second. 2 outs. And now we're back to Cuero. We're not even back to Cuero. First time Cuero's hitting. Four seam away ball. Check out the velo, too. 97, 98. Yoshi's feeling good headed into the summer. That's probably the best contact so far. Good swing there by Cuero, but right at Pages to end the third. On to the fourth. Antonacci. Splitter down. And cutter for an out. Another perfect location. I've been talking about it all day. The precision. Up and in. Perfection to Antonacci. And look at that. You can't locate better than that. Unbelievable. All right, 1 out. Here's Vargas. Good at bat by Vargas that first time. Hit that curveball. Perfect four seam dotted up and in. Now sinker. This is a mean combination. Yep, great take. And now four seam up and in again. And jams the crap out of him. So lives in. Four seam, sinker, four seam. Great combo there. Gets the 3-pitch out. And now here's Benny. First pitch curveball, steals strike one. Four seam for location. Up and away, swing through. And then splitter down.
0-2 here to Benny.
Another rollover to Freddie. Comes out and around that swing, and he's perfect through 4. On to the 5th. Colson Montgomery got him to chase a fastball away last time. 4-seam down ball. Here comes that cutter. Let's see if the location's money again. Good miss. 2-0. Now to the curveball. This is a beautiful thing about the curveball. So much slower than everything else. He can usually steal a strike with it. Does it there. Split off that. 3-1. So back against the wall. Here comes the first challenge heater of the day.
3-1.
And he beats him with it. Montgomery comes underneath that. 16.6 inches of vert, 96.7 miles an hour. And just barely gets him. So that was the first vulnerable pitch of the day, in my opinion, but it doesn't matter. Popped him up anyway. Here is the other Montgomery, Braden. First pitch curveball ball. Cutter back door. Dotted. Montgomery's had some tough pitches against him, and now split. Good swing, but that's going to be off the end of the bat just a bit. 2 outs. All right, Meadroth. 97 ball. Now backdoor sinker. Dotted. 1-1. Curveball. Pulled foul. Almost a hit. And now fastball away for Freeze. Misses up, fouls it off, good at bat. Now they want to go higher for the chase. Another good pitch, another good foul ball. Down in split. I mean, every pitch choice they're making too makes a lot of sense. Now curveball makes sense. Oh, they're going to go slider. First slider of the day. Vicious. This was such a good sequence. They just kept working it. Let's work through it pitch by pitch. First pitch up and in target to Meadroth, misses too high. Okay, ball 1. Now he decides to go backdoor sinker to change the eyesight. Had him looking in, now goes away. Nuts the sinker. Should have been a ball, but gets the strike. So now it's gone fastball up and in, sinker down and away. Now they're going to go curveball. So 2 hard pitches, he goes to the slow pitch. Hangs it, but he's ahead of that. So that gave him a little bit of information about where his timing is. But also now he thinks he can get him to chase coming off of this pulled foul ball. So he's going to go for the 4-seam. Targets down, misses up, but reads that the batter's late. So now they want to go up again, and he does. He goes up, but the ball misses up and in. So now he's going to use that miss, right? He goes up and in. He knows he's got him sped up to hit that pitch. You have to be sped up to even make contact with that pitch. So what do you throw a righty who's sped up on fastball? You throw him a split, which is what he does here. And the reason why he throw the split is because if he sees something straight, he'll swing at a ball, which is what he does. He's lucky to chop it off. But now you know you got him going fast, and he's firing at anything that comes out of the middle lane that's breaking in towards him. So then they choose, okay, we're going to throw something in the middle lane breaking away from him. It's the slider, and now you're going to swing at it. So see you later. First pitch of the day. First time of the day, he throws a slider, and it's perfectly timed, and he knew he had him in swing mode, and he punches his ticket. I mean, it's just beautiful. Always has the right combo. All right, curveball here to Gonzalez. Strike. Cutter in. Defeated swing foul. Now he's 0-2. 4-seam up ball. Splitter coming here.
Ball 2 strike, the count here to Gonzalez.
That's low. Curveball.
2-2.
This guy's probably had the best at-bats of the day, but he's going to punch him on a cutter.
3-2.
For some reason, he swung under 2 cutters in this game that were both hittable. So something about the bat, the flat bat here or something. But Yoshi's able to expose that, and that's the first out of the 6th. Now a 1 pitch out here of Peters. Cutter, dangerous pitch, hit hard. Freddie's got his back down the line. 2 outs. And then another 1 pitch out. And this is when you had to be feeling it with the perfect game. You know, you get 2 1-pitch outs here. Montgomery put a nice charge into this one. I actually think he had 2 really good swings against Yoshi in this game. Got nothing for it, but this was actually Cuero, my bad. This is a good swing, though. He had 2 good swings in this game. Doesn't get anything for it, though, with the fly out. Alex Call makes the play. We're on to the 7th. Still perfect. Here's Antonacci. Curveball. Backdoor strike. Perfection. The slider is super nasty, but he doesn't throw it a ton because he said that pitch gave him elbow pain in Japan. It's just weird. Like, he doesn't use it that much, but you see the value of having it in your back pocket for the perfect opportunity. Good challenge there. 1-1 count to Sammy. Another fastball in. Beats him there. Gets him to 1-2. Now going for the front door. Man, it's a good idea with a batter who doesn't chase. Try to go for the freeze. Just misses it here. Good try. Just misses it. How's he going to get him out? Splitter.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, that might be the best splitter of the day. Holy cow. Kind of a straight down 93. Look how long this ball's a strike. Strike ball. Perfect pitch to Antonacci. Gets the chase and the miss for the first out of the 7th. Second batter of the 7th, Mr. Miguel Vargas. 4-seam up ball.
There's been a couple of hard hit balls, but not many.
Slider away. There's the second slider. Gets the swing underneath. Going back in there again. Gets Vargas to pull that one foul. Now he's back in the driver's seat. Sinker back door. Vargas taps. That's going to be a ball. And then back to up and in. Interesting how you can tell that they have a lot of respect for Vargas, because every other pitch or so, they were committed to trying to get him up and in. And I have to say, you know, there's been some good swings from some White Sox in this game. For a guy who was on the verge of a perfect game, I've seen some good at-bats here, because I thought Yoshi's pitched really, really well, obviously. And I think they've hit some balls well. That was a great swing. You got to be quick to get to that ball. So I give credit there to Vargas. All right, here's Benintendi. First pitch splitter ball.
5 today.
4-seam up sword. Now to the split. It's amazing how hard he can throw this thing, too. That's like 94-ish.
That's about it.
And then to the curveball 2-1. Loves to go super slow behind the count. Works again there. Benny with a late swing. Fouls that off. Going for the front door here. Just misses it. So a few times this sinker didn't really come back. That one only had 9 inches of run. That's not enough for that pitch. Then 4-seam in fouled off. And then cutter. So he's perfect through 7 following this backdoor cutter. Pop up by Benintendi. Muncy is there. I definitely thought he was going to get it. 8th inning. First batter is Colson Montgomery. 4-seam away ball. Still living at 97. Splitter. Pulled foul. Splitter again. Here comes the heater.
2 balls and a strike.
All right, so 3-1, perfect game. Very tough situation, because you know you got to throw a strike here. 3-1, gets the swing and miss at the top, and then he's going to get him out with the splitter. So 1 out in the 8th, still perfect, even though that was hit very hard. And then here's where the perfect game ends, I believe. Right here, Montgomery, splitter ball. Oh no, gets him out here. Cutter. Little ground ball to short. This one, Mookie's on it. Makes the play. So 2 outs in the 8th. 4 outs to go. Now here's Meadroth. This is it, yeah. Sinker down, ball.
1-0.
Splitter, strike. And slider, error by Mookie. Now, I think this ball kind of came up on him a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of a weird hop. He's looking at it like it's the field, so I kind of tend to agree with him with his assessment. I mean, that's obviously bounces up high. Like, these bounces are all relatively small. Small. And then the last 2 really kicked up. Boingy and then boing? So I don't know. It's an error for sure, but ball definitely kicked up on Mookie a little bit. Reminded me a little bit of the Hanley Ramirez error in the Kershaw no-hitter. But he ended up not getting the no-hitter because he ends up giving up a hit. So, anyway. Cutter, swing and miss. 4-seam knocked foul, and then 0-2 split here. And he's able to get through the 8th inning, still with the no-hitter intact. Perfect game is gone, but no-hitter intact. I'm sure you guys probably saw the interaction between him and Mookie in the dugout. I mean, Yoshi's just the best. What a teammate. But then here's the bomb. This is where he loses it all. The no-hitter and the shutout. As Peters is going to take him deep on this 1-0 fastball.
Peters in the air down the line.
I think he's going to get there, guys, though. Yoshi's too good and too consistent to not put himself in a bunch of opportunities beyond the 7th inning at a no-hitter or a perfect game. So I know it's a little bit of a bummer, but he does get clipped there for the home run by Peters, and then they let him pitch one more batter, and then Dave comes and gets him. Cuero, backdoor cutter. Four-seam up. Splitter top shelf, and then curveball. So another masterclass by Yoshi. I mean, he does it all. I mean, there's really no critiquing Yamamoto. He's probably the most complete pitcher in baseball. Him and Wheeler, I'd say, most complete. It's different with it's a little different with Sanchez or Mizorowski because they're just so dominating with what they do and nobody can stop it. Same with Skubal. I guess you could say Skeens. Skeens is just as complete maybe, but I think Yoshi's even better, like in terms of like his fielding and all the little things. Command is a little tick better. Maybe his stuff's not. I don't know. It's a good comparison, but he's one of the most complete pitchers, if not the most complete pitcher in the game for me. Just does everything. There's no weakness there, is my point. So we said it again. He's been rolling. This guy was worth all the money and then some. 27 years old still. World Series MVP. They've won both titles since he's been there. I mean, you could talk about Shohei contract all you want, but this one is like arguably just as important in a lot of ways. Do I think he'll eventually win a Cy Young? Definitely, yeah. I think it'd be hard for him not to win one over the next 5 or 6 years. He's that consistent. So at some point, maybe the field will, allow him to win it. Trevor Plouffe says this is the worst infield in the majors and has always been. Todd Frazier said the same thing the other day. We were doing the Yankees pre and post watching that game, between commercial breaks. And he said, man, because he played there too. He said that infield's rough. Like it's tough bounces for sure. Adam, it's kind of amazing how some pitchers lost a no-hitter a perfect game with 1 out or more to go. Yeah, I mean, the Musina one's famous. Darvish, there's a lot of them. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to do it, Plus, you're tired usually at the end. So, pretty crazy. Look at the splitter movement. Are those two separate splits, or do some just run arm side on him? Yeah, I think he can manipulate it a little bit. I do. I think he knows how to make it more go straight down. Oh, sorry, I didn't show the screen here. These are the turquoises. I think that, I think he can manipulate it a little bit. But, man, talk about having a slider in your back pocket, the yellow dots. And, he like just whips it out when he needs it, but man, he's been so freaking good this year. And I don't know, I think he's just good in general. His work ethic, his attitude. I mean, the trophy case he's already got at home. He'd be such a cool guy to learn from. And I think the Dodgers benefit a lot from having him around, Roki and everybody. So let's see, what's he looking like? I mean, they're hitting 169 on the year off his four-seamer, 156 off the split. He's given up some hits on cutter, which I've been talking about a lot. It's not my favorite pitch, but he's so accurate with it that he's still getting punch-outs with it. He's got a 24% put-away rate on the cutter, so it's still useful. They're hitting 105 on the sinker, 250 on the curve, 217 on the slider. He's unbelievable. He really is. Has anything changed with him, like arm angles or anything? Gotten a little lower, but it's basically the same. Maybe his first pitch strike rate could be a little better. I don't know. You just have to grasp at straws to figure out what to say about Yoshi, like on the negative, because there really isn't anything. So, hey, let's get some like numbers up out there. Appreciate Spectre for this comment here. And I think we might be done, basically. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me get in the chat here. One side effect of the White Sox struggles, the fans are filling the seats, but they're all in street clothes because no one owns any team gear. I'm sure that'll change soon, especially if they continue to play well. They're in it for sure. I mean, it's too early to look at these types of standings, but you go to the wild card standings at the moment. I mean, these don't matter, but they'd be in at the moment, and it's a pretty big cushion. Oh, they'd be in anyway because of the division. But like the Guardians, who are a little bit behind them, they have a 3-game cushion over the A's, who have a 1-game cushion over the Rangers. What's fascinating about this American League, just in the big picture, I know it's too early to look at this, But, you know, even the worst team is only 7.5 back out of a playoff spot. So it's a very weird scenario to be 15 games under 500 and 7.5 out of a playoff spot. So anything can happen in the American League still. Like, so even if you're a Boston fan, you're like, wow, 5.5 back, that's manageable, you know? Crazy. I don't know what to make of it. National League, also going to be a mad scramble. But it's like the Mets are 5.5 out, 8 under, 5.5 out. So it's all totally manageable. Second half of the season is going to be a very, very interesting watch this year. How are they going to do it? Adam, do you want to look at Colt Keith's 3 home runs? Sure, we can finish up with that. We can finish up with that. Colt Keith hit 3 of his 4 home runs last night for on his season in one game. He's been an interesting player. Tends to be pretty streaky. Usually a slow starter. Actually started off decent early in the year, albeit not with home runs. So after the 3 home run game yesterday, now he's popped over a 700 OPS for the first time in a while. This is a guy they gave an early extension to. He's only 24 years old. Hasn't really had the breakout yet, but he's been okay. He's been okay for the Tigers. Anyway, 3 home runs last night versus the Astros. So we'll jump over there. Tigers, Astros, and Colt Keith with a 3 home run game and a hit by pitch. Tang hits him in the first at-bat. First pitch with the bases loaded. So he gets an RBI on a first pitch sweeper off the leg.
The run is going to be Kevin McGonigal.
And the run comes home. Second at bat off of Tang. Change up.
It just seems that way.
And then sweeper.
So be able to represent the Astros in the
I mean, just right into his bat. Nice swing. Perfectly on time. Drives it out into the bullpen. 108.8 at 24, 411 feet. Tang's asking the catcher, did I throw that pitch too high? The answer, I believe, is yes, or it's really just kind of down the middle. Let's see Colt's swing. Kind of wide. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Doesn't feel like he gets his hands back far enough for me. But here I am critiquing him negatively on a home run, so what do I know? All right, that's the first home run. He's actually going to strike out here versus Blue Ball. I don't know if you guys saw, but on the missed distance leaders, Blue Ball's, I think, changeup or one of his pitches was number 2 behind Mason Miller. So he's going to punch him out. I think it's this changeup. So there's something with this changeup. I mean, he was number 2 in missed distance on that pitch. That's filthy. Punches him on 3 pitches, not to worry. Plenty of good things coming for Colt. Here is his third at-bat versus Jaden Murray. 4-seam up ball, and then a home run on a changeup. Another pull side home run. Houston's great place to hit down the line. Straightaway right, straightaway left, obviously, with the Crawford boxes. Great place to hit. Great job sitting on this changeup and not getting too far out front on this. Yeah, managed to stay back really nice on that, huh? Yeah, just a slight delay, nothing much. That's the second home run. Third one's going to be in the Crawford boxes. Off of Abreu, I think, here. 93 away ball.
Up to 17 in a 9-inning
slider ball. Yeah, probables are next. This is it. This is it. And then don't forget, tomorrow, timing will be a little different. Which I'll talk about a little more at the end. All right, so 2-2 count, and then he's going to get a slider, and he's going to pop him out opposite field into the Crawford boxes. So 2 pull side, 1 oppo. This one, you know, is probably more of a double swing, but we'll take it for a 3-homer day. And it's just crazy to enter the day with 1 home run in June, mind you, and then finish the day with 4 home runs. So great day for Colt Keith. The Tigers are in an interesting predicament. We just showed the wild card standings. They're like 6.5 out. Scooble's back healthy. We know that they have it in them for a run. Can they put it together and get back in it? I think it's anybody's question. You know, they've had some good performances this year. I mean, Dingler, McGonigal, Riley Green, they've had some guys step up. I don't know if they're going to have enough to ultimately get back in it or not, but I do think, you know, Colt Keith hitting would help. Yeah, there they are right there. 6 back in the wild card. I mean, there's plenty of time to come back in that American League this year. I mean, the Blue Jays are 2 out, and they've been disappointing. Orioles 2.5 out. So much excitement down the stretch of meaningful games coming on the horizon. So we'll see. We'll see what it all means. All right, that is it for today's show. Let's hit the probables, and then we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow's mechanics and everything like that. All right, here are the matchups today for Tuesday, June 16th. Tyler Phillips and Jesus Luzardo from Philly. That's Marlins Phillies. Royals, Nats, Waka, and Foster Griffin. Jays, Red Sox. Here's a fun one. Cease and Tolley. I feel like these guys matched up recently, but that's a really good one. And then not for nothing, this one is really good as well. Davis Martin, who's arguably been a top 3 American League starter this year, facing Garrett Cole, coming off of a frustrating start in Cleveland. So I'm curious to see how he looks back in the Bronx today versus the White Sox. That should be a fun series. Mets, Reds, Kodai Senga back from wherever he was, and he's pitching today versus the Reds. We'll see what he's got. You got to think if you're the Mets, you should be able to beat up on Singer. Bottom line is they got to win. They got to keep winning series, and they dropped the opener last night. Giants, Braves, Hauser, Grant Holmes. Guardians, Brewers, Saccone, Robert Gasser. Padres, Cardinals, Michael King, who's been scuffling, and Andre Palante. Rockies, Cubs, Feltner, Cabrera. Twins, Rangers, Zebby Matthews, Kumar Rocker. Tigers, Astros, great matchup here. Framber versus his old team in Houston, and then Hunter Brown coming back off the IL. Very curious to see how he looks. We'll check in on him tomorrow. Hunter Brown going. So Hunter Brown's from Detroit, pitching against the Tigers, and Framber Valdez is a former Astro pitching against the Astros. Lot going on there. Angels, Diamondbacks, Detmers, who's been on a burner. See if he can keep it going versus Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks. Pirates, A's, Mitch Keller, who's been very bad lately. I think 6 out of the last 7 are clunkers. He's going up in Sacramento. So good luck to him, and maybe he'll just walk Nick Kurtz a few times. Jack Perkins for the A's. Orioles, Mariners, Brandon Young, who's been pretty decent lately, and Logan Gilbert. And then our final game of the night, and an interesting matchup of Drew Rasmussen and Robleski. Rasmussen's definitely the ace of the Rays now, so excited to watch him go up against this Dodgers offense. And then, Robleski we've been talking about a lot this year. Just fascinating pitcher for sure. So that's it for the stream. Tomorrow's Mizorowski Day. He'll be on with us in the afternoon. So he's going to pop on around 2:15 Eastern time onto the stream. I'm going to start streaming at 1. I'm going to try to go 1 to 3-ish tomorrow. That's the plan. So we'll do our usual stuff for the first hour 15. Then we'll get Mizorowski on here. I'm planning on asking him a little bit, about some stuff within the game, some game within the game stuff. He's just a fascinating case. I'm not going to sit here and gush about his velocity the whole time, but obviously that's part of it. I don't know. Just want to get to know him a little bit, learn a little bit about his process and some of the stuff that's helped him along the way. And then we'll take some questions. Have some in the Discord. You can drop them in there. You can drop them in the chat live, and hopefully I can pick a few of those out. But we're very lucky to have him coming on. He's the hottest pitcher in the world right now. And it's pretty cool. I don't know him yet, so it'd be great to get him on here, and I appreciate that. Thank you all for hanging with me today. I'll put up the show, upcoming here in a minute for tomorrow, but it's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern time show, which makes that a 4 o'clock in the afternoon West Coast time. So it's kind of an afternoon. That's not 4 o'clock. I'm totally wrong. I get that backwards all the time. So that makes that 10 a.m. tomorrow in LA. 11 Pacific time. No, it's 10. I'll be starting at 10. He'll be coming on around 11:15 Pacific. So whatever. You'll see it. I'll put up the upcoming. I'm going to throw up the schedule now. It's irrelevant for tomorrow, but I'm going to throw it up, now for everybody on the stream. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Appreciate everybody in the Discord, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Baseball and Coffee and with Mizorowski joining the show. So appreciate you guys, and have a great rest of your day. It was good being back with you all today. All right. Have a good one. See you later.